and then I'm done with this show, which is very sad because I really used to enjoy watching Mnakwethu Happily Ever After. You know, when it wasn't about producers in the mix jumping to make television at all costs, it was great. When it wasn't about these new release girls wanting to be famous and also just causing to cause, it was great. But now it's a dumpster fire. But just move it to Moja Love once.
Hello,
Once.
everybody, and welcome to Rachadi's Views. I am Rachadi, and I give you my views on reality on this channel. It sounds so weird to say that. I haven't said that in so long. Oh my gosh, it feels like it's been really, really long. But Rachadi is back. I don't even have stories and excuses. I'm just back. Let's just know that. Missed everybody. I hope you've all been well. If you are new to the channel, welcome to Rachadi's Views, where I give you my long form reviews of reality TV shows that I watch. And to all of the returning subscribers and watchers, welcome back, guys. I hope you've been well. I hope you had a good Valentine's, whether you are single, whether you are partnered, whether you are in a polyamory, you are in a triangle, you are in a square, you're in a hexagon. It's okay as long as it's all consensual and transparent. I hope you all had a good time. So I'm back with Mnakwethu Happily Ever After reunion, guys. So when I had recorded the last episode, I let you guys know that I was so done with Mnakwethu and just being traumatized when I'm trying to be entertained and the trauma of it all. So I thought I was going to record one just blockbuster review of the two parts of the reunion, but I've actually decided to split it. And for my own sanity, I'm going to do each family. Okay. Family for the purposes of just we all get it, each collective group at a time. So we are starting off. This is the review of the reunion segment. Yabo Dulas, aka number one Popeye, Yakob Mnakwethu. And I don't say that to be disrespectful, but like the actions, the behaviors, and the decision making that's been happening is Popeye like, is Popeye adjacent, not even adjacent, is Popeye, get Popeye. So we're going to start off with the first segment of the review, which was Dulas's family. And Babsivia is back, and he's the host of the reunion, which I think I do appreciate because when Lassie was doing, Lakongo was doing the reunion, I think she did the previous season's reunion. She was the host of that. I didn't necessarily like the way that she had handled the show and asking the questions. It just seemed like a lot of the time she was just siding with the women. And listen, these men are ridiculous and putting the women through a lot. But your position, well, it's my opinion that your position as a host should be to ask the questions that the audience wants to know of both parties, both sides, okay, the men's side and the women's side. And I think I just didn't appreciate how she wasn't giving a lot of the guys a chance for us to just hear how 2 plus 2 was equaling 5 in their brains with their decision making. Um, and I think there were times also where she didn't really have a lot of control of the guests on the stage. Things got out of control. So with Ubab Sibia, I liked the way that he handled the reunion because he also wasn't overly siding with the main. What is this? I liked the way Ubab Sibia was handling being the host of the show. He seemed to have control of the guests. He was asking the questions that we all wanted to know. And I think he was generally being fair with everybody and not being biased, which is what you need in a host. We need someone who's objective, but asking challenging questions and just resolving things, ending segments. He was good. He was good. So anyway, we start with Utulas and his extras, his group of extras, the ladies. Team Mosha, Mamhlonga and Tapsile, those two, are sitting next to each other on the couch. I called them Team Mosha from one of the previous reviews, and in this reunion, they proved me right in that label. Distraction Girls. They were on it. They were clocked in to their work. They came to work, go reunion, these girls. They came to make entertainment for television at whatever cost. And we saw some of them. Oh, guys, wait again, guys. I don't want to lie. I don't know if it's the light or like I haven't seen myself in front of a camera for a while. Rakgadi looking good. Oh my God. And just high five yourself wherever you are. You are beautiful wherever you are, darling. Do something. Go look in the mirror. Just go look at yourself. Look deeply into your eyes and tell yourself, because we are all beautiful and you, Kevin, got red lips, got red lips. Okay, so I'm very distracted. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I had like the cat be really say two before I started recording. I think the sugar is pagati within the bloodstream, and my glucose levels are like here. So hopefully I'm gonna come down at some point so that I can get through this one. Anyway, Team Mosha sitting together. They're smiling, they're giggling together. We can already tell it's gonna be mess, just mess and jam. Hi, they asked Dulas, about, Dulas seems to be the guy who's getting his ladies to business and setting them up. How are those businesses going? Dulas then informs us that Mamhlongo sold her car wash. Mashozi, her car's broken down. I don't know what business she has, but it requires a car, I presume. He says the car's broken down, it's getting fixed. And as far as Umashezi goes, she was getting far ahead of herself with this driving school idea that I was going to help her to do that because it was evident in how she carried herself throughout the season. Basically reading between the lines, like he's not getting her shit no more because na papa, na spita, and he's not about that life. So to wrap it all up, none of the three ladies, it seems, have existing functional going concerns. So as far as the businesses, listen, re tla mo shapela matsogo Dulas gore he got it started, at least for Mamhlonge and Mashozi, I assume. Masha is a girl, maybe you should have stunted after you got the business rolling. But anyway. Then Ubab Sibia asks him about, Madlamini, she's not here. We started out season 1 with her. What had happened? So Dulas explains that, like, no, it was actually a very short illness. We didn't understand. Also, she was sick for about a week and then she passed away. And he's saying then it came out later, there was Isandla Semfene in the mix and Najisito allegedly, Madlamini. Um, which is very unfortunate. Mamhlongo was there shaking her head and denying the things that Dulas was saying. For me, I have to take Dulas at his word because he's actually family who would have had more information than Mamhlongo would because she was not in the inner circle of Madlamini's life as I understand it. So I don't know if she's shaking her head. Where is she getting the contradictory information from? So now Rachad is taking Dulas's story as word. And even when he's talking about it, Shem, he is looking very emotional. Rachadi stands with Madlamini. We will never forget Madlamini. And may she rest in peace. Just very sad. They talk about the kids, and, whether he's taking care of them and her request when we saw her on one of the episodes having a phone conversation with Dulas, she was reminding him to take care of the kids, leave the streets and take care of the kids. And Dulas says, maybe when she was saying that there was, a part of her that maybe knew that she was going to go. I don't know. I just, send her love wherever her spirit is and may she be resting in peace. Umadlamini. Then they ask Mamhlongo Uguti, okay, what's your status? Are you in? Are you out? Where you at? Mamhlongo says no, she is officially done with Udulasi. She's not there anymore. She tells us that Khantle Hantle, she was actually done when Mashozi stepped into the picture. That's where she exited stage left. But she says later on in the segment that, it was her getting pregnant that made her want to give this relationship another go and another try.
Y'all, my microphone was not plugged in. So if the sound sounds different, this is why. Daddy's why, but we plugged in now. Good to go. Oh my God. and also subscribe, guys. Oh, wait again. I haven't done this in a long time. Please hit subscribe and the notification bell button if you haven't as yet. Love you. So anyway, Babhlogo says no, she's out. But we'll see. Because as Dulas keeps on reminding her time and time again in front of cameras that she's not going anywhere. And she's just going to make problems for herself and for him the more she tries to fight whatever Dulas has done to her. Umukile is a done deal. He threw away the key. Anyway, as they're talking about all of this, Mamhlongo saying, Mamhlongo le distraction girls, they start talking about now that Dulas is scared of Umashozi, and he's not going to sit here and tell the truth. Then Tabisile says out of her mouth to Mashozi that, like, what you're doing behind closed doors at home. And then Babsibia is like, what are you talking about? Then Tabsile says, I Gabi, but I need to tell the truth. And the truth is that Mashozi beats Dulas at home. Then Mamhlongo co-signs this. Babsibia then asks Tabsile, girl, do you have evidence? Where is the evidence for all of this? All she has is hearsay, because she says that no, Dulas has told her via WhatsApp messages that Mashozi beats him. And she's got these, I don't know if it's a WhatsApp call or a WhatsApp message, because she just said, ka WhatsApp. If looks could kill, when this allegation was then made against Umashozi, abatlhaba kaofela daggers in her eyes. Daggers specifically for Dulas, who was sitting next to her. She tells Tamsile that she's disrespecting her by making this accusation. And then Mashozi and Tamsile get into it with the back and forth. I'm not going to get into that, because Raghadi's official position is that Tabisile has zero credibility. Zero credibility. Your witness testimony, your eyewitness, he told me, based on your behavior, based on your actions, you have zero credibility, because it is evident from this season that we are dealing with somebody who is immature, somebody who has a very deep thirst, lenyora, for fame and notoriety. And she has proven herself to also be somebody who is out here to get hers and hers alone. Tabsile is out here for herself. At any cost, she's going to get what she wants, even if it's some likes on TikTok and Instagram. So she's willing to do no maini. So even if her and Mamhlongo, Team Distraction Girls, thought this up in the background, if there was a producer producing Kamutswako, either way, you can't take anything she says to heart. So for me, I was also just like, Mashozi, you're busy here fighting back and forth words with like this girl. Come on, guys. Like, what? Anyway, they go back and forth. What was very telling for me in the midst of all of these accusations was Dulas's body language and Dulas's reaction to what was being said here. He was very quiet and he looked very withdrawn. You see, when the accusation was thrown out, Mashozi gave us eyebrows up, shock, when the accusations were made. But we don't know if it's shock, how could you, or like shock, but she gave us shock. Dulas, on the other hand, gave us very withdrawn. Remember that time when Umashozi was throwing water bottles and baptizing Utabsile Kwako Naturena? when Dulas was allegedly introducing them. And then he went and he hid in the kitchen and was staring out the window through the butler gates, and he looked like a little boy. That's what he was giving us after these accusations were made. So Dulas is like, no, guys, what is more likely is that Mamhlongo, you know what, like that's maybe a more believable accusation, is that Mamhlongo hits me rather than Utabsile being the one to hit me. So Babsibia is asking questions because, you know, he's taking this seriously as a host who is representing clearly the channel. You know, and basically says, you know what, GBV is a problem in South Africa, even against men. And there's a lot of men who might not come forward and speak up because they feel embarrassed and they feel ashamed, and rightly so, because when he was even talking about this Ubab Sivia, everybody, everybody was laughing in the studio. I don't know if they were laughing at the hilarity of like the accusations being so ridiculous, or laughing at the fact that Dulas is getting whipped by a woman. I don't know. But people were laughing, which was alarming for me because, you know, we talk about GBV, guys. The allegations haven't been proven, you know, but we're talking about GBV and people are laughing. Anyway, everybody's in there laughing. So Obab Sibia is like, you know, let me ask Mamhlong and Tabisile once again, where is the evidence that you've got about Dulas being beaten up? When he asks them again and interrogates them, now all of a sudden it's, hayi, ngicabanga ukuthi ukakwenzeka that he might possibly. Stop it, ladies. That's when we can see the jig is up. Like, the jig is up, clearly. I don't know who thought this would be good TV amongst the two of them. And Samantha stands up at some point in this segment and takes the microphone, and she even says, Mamhlongo uzinhle, uyimenemene. Because how can you be throwing these allegations, false, Samantha says they're false, these false allegations, and be in a partnership with Utabsile? She's like, you don't even know this girl. But there you are in cahoots with this little storyline for the reunion. What I have to say is that, you know, Zintle was the first one to backpedal when Babsibia was asking for evidence. And then Tabsile now also backpedaled because clearly her partner in crime was not standing as firm in the lie as she was. Very interesting, Mamhlongo, that you would want to concoct a story like this. Because if we are to look back at the tapes, roll the tapes of Mnakwethu Happily Ever After, the only person who has been recorded on camera that we all saw being violent and committing GBV on screen is you. Because I remember, Rakadi remembers Car Wash opening. O jumpa, o screama, nearly the fly kick, nearly the mpama. You were ready to fight Dulas and his male cousins and friends, whoever his backup squad was there, the other bingers who were there. Your friends were trying to hold you back. I think it was one or two girlfriends who were there with her, trying to hold her back. She was breaking free, running into that group of men, fist swinging. So if we're going to talk about GBV, let's talk about some GBV, because you are the only one who's been recorded. If we want to look at a person with a history of violence, Mamhlong, against the other gender, so the other person we can say who is violent on that stage, Litu, Mamhlong, Mashos. Because Mashozi, we saw you there when Tepsile was being introduced, baptizing her, throwing bottles of water at her, ready to fight. So very interesting, Mam Hlongo, that you would be the part that's calling Dulas the kettle. Blackety black black. But I think it then becomes evident after Babzibia's interrogation, people are now backpedaling. It's possibly he beats her up. I don't know for a fact if that allegation is true. Rakadi's opinion, though, opinion, is that maybe from time to time there's some furniture moving in that house, and it's going both ways. Allegedly. It's my opinion. Because when I'm watching the body language, yeah, Dulas, and the body language, yeah, my shows, there's something there. There's something there. I don't think it's what Tabsile and Mamhlongo were alleging, but there's something that can. Konale aftertaste of a something in those four walls, Konechorena. But fine, we are not there because everybody laughs it off. It's dismissed. I will say, Babsibia as a host, I appreciate that at least he took the allegations seriously and he didn't let it go and he didn't let it hang. And he pursued and interrogated those Team Mosha distraction girls to give us the truth and give us the evidence that they could not then produce. Whatever they were trying to do, it fell flat. Sorry. Then, anyway, Mamhlongo tells us that no, she's no longer Dulas' zombie imkovu or whatever. She's gone to consult, and whatever things Dulas is doing to her are not gonna work anymore. She's free from him. Dulas then Babsibia asks him, Dulas vele vele wena no tshepileng ko Mamhlongo this whole time. He's saying she's not gonna leave. Dulas then finally admits the truth in front of the cameras that umujisite. Mamhlongo is like, yes, to make her dumb and docile. Rakgadi will issue a warning to everybody who's watching if you've made it this far in the video, guys. Divorce, and we'll put the slash kuku plus imithi gefar ingozi. Beware, guys, of who you are sleeping with. Beware of who you're sleeping with. I would definitely say before you engage with sexual activities with people, go and find out who they really are. Not the person that you are seeing in front of you. No. If you believe that consultations work, if you are that way inclined, guys, before you are spiritually tying yourself to another person through it off. Because the ramifications, as we can see here with Umam Hlonga, are serious. Because Dulas even reiterated and told her that, like, he says, Mam Hlonga telling me that we're broken up on this stage is the first time that I've heard that we are broken up. Because as far as Dulas was concerned, he had 2 wives when he came and sat on that couch. He tells her again that if you are trying to get free of me, you are going to make problems for yourself and for me. You cannot exit stage left. You can sit here and say what you want to say, talk all the things you want to talk. Auna mo oyang teng sisi. Throw away the key. So for everybody else, guys, stay alert, stay alive. People are doing things out here. And I know that it has been done and continues to be done, particularly when people get married in our African culture and tradition. For those of you who don't know, but it does get done. When people get married, particularly on the wedding day, then there's a meal that's prepared for the couple that's getting married, usually by the husband's family. And that meal, in the African spices and herbs, meant to solidify the union so that, the partners stay together and that other people's meaties and vorses and cakes can't come in between what God has brought together. But the problem is that this day and age, people are doing it with girlfriends and one night stands. So that's my public service announcement for this reunion, guys. Sleeping around, as Floyd Shivambu told us, sleeping around is sleeping around. Little fella, if you don't wake up and smell the coffee. Because even if you can say you don't believe in these things, it's okay. We all have different beliefs. If you can sit here and you say you don't believe in immunity, you don't believe in African spirituality, it's fine. But just because you don't believe in something does not mean that it's not happening. So rather protect yourself is all I'm going to say. If kikatapelo or whatever, protect yourself in the ways you can protect yourself. But vort vaka on the streets. Please let Mamhlongo be exhibit A, have a case study for all of us. Because this Vors and Miti combination yet to last. Anyway, at this stage, Dulas has had enough. He cusses out Tabsile for disrespecting Mashozi, tells Tabsile that, like, rather disrespect me, leave Mashozi out of it. Then he goes ahead and curses God and his ancestors for ever allowing him to cross paths with Utabsile. How could they? Bab Sibia was even like, that's a strong statement, my brother. Strong. And it is a strong statement because clearly you can see Dulas has had it with Utabsile. However, Dulas, you are not off the hook because you are still blaming everybody else but yourself for going out and starting, initiating, and continuing a relationship with Utabsile. You went and did that. But nowhere in that is it your fault. Nowhere in there are you taking accountability for the fact that you opened this door for this other party to come into your relationship. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to sit there and be the protective partner for Mashozi and defend her honor. And how dare you speak to her like that in my presence? You brought this person here. Even Ukondanisa stands up and says, and Jesus, guys, Julius, you've got me here standing up and defending Kondanisa's position. But Kondanisa even tells him that, like, don't sit here and call Tabsile crazy. He says, about calling her crazy. Because you went out and got this crazy person. You did. And Vele, she wasn't crazy when it was nice. Ooh, in the beginning, look at Jolong. She wasn't crazy. Now all of a sudden she's crazy and she's the witch. He even called them Tagat. She's the crazy witch who's come and destroyed your life. You didn't do anything. Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. And this is why we are 5 years in. 5 years. Happily Ever After started 2020, guys. 2025 now. We are 5 years into Dulas building this family of Itembu that says he wants to build. We're 5 years in, and it's a mess. Because Bab Sivia asks him who's he living with. Only person he's living with is Umasho's. One. You've got one wife at this point. Well, Umamhlongo, because Bansitse di home, but she says she's done with you. But also Mamhlongo been saying it. We hope that you are done with him. If it's actually going to manifest that way, I'm not sure. 5 years in, and this is what Sitepu Sahau is looking like. Shambles. It's in shambles. But it's not your fault. Oh, no, it's not your fault. God and the ancestors brought this down upon you because you crossed paths with her. This thing of yours is never going to work. Just public service announcement, guys. Relationships without people taking accountability, it's very difficult to move through the conflicts and the challenges and the forgiveness and making amends that is going to come with any relationship. This is not even romantic relationships. Without accountability, take a note from Dulas. It can't always be everybody else's fault. If the words and the narrative that you paint for yourself when you are in relationships is that everybody's doing this to me, that person did this, it's that person's fault that this happened, If you are never in the equation as to why there is a breakdown in relationships, I can tell you that you are part of the problem. Because Dulas is the nexus, the central nexus of the problem. But nowhere does he ever take accountability. No, no. Scheming witches, distraction girls, and anyway. And it was just a sad, sad, sad situation. Because in all of this, there's Mashozi sitting next to Dulas, looking like she's going to cry, tears in her eyes, her arms were folded, red eyes. The tears were here, nearly 5'2". Poor girl was going to cry. And it was sad to see. But unfortunately, my empathy doesn't extend that far for Mashozi, because not that long ago, Mashozi, you two were sitting on a stage similar to this one. Couple of years ago, Mnakwethu Happily Ever After reunion. You were sitting in Tabisile's position with glee and happy that I found a man, while Madlamini was sitting there crying. Crying because she could see her family was falling apart. And you sat there with glee because you can't take care of your man. I can. When you're not giving him what he wants, I can. When you're the old version, nagging you release. And here you're finding out, Mashozi. Same script, different cast. Shout out to Deborah Cox and Whitney, who's jam and a half. Same script, different cast. So I can't really feel that sorry for you, Mashozi, because you took pleasure and glee when it was happening to Madlamini. Worse, when it was happening to Madlamini on stage in front of cameras and lights. So now, on stage in front of cameras and lights. Let this be a lesson for... Hey, guys. Wait a second. I don't even think I need to say what the lesson is at this point. But like, hey. If you are out here making other women feel and look stupid because when a KFC when you release, please don't be moving under the fallacy that you too will not be made to look like a stupid woman by the very same stupid man. It's nice when you're out here basadi ba bangwe ba shapaka di like the idiots trying to hold on to their relationships and their marriages. And the sad thing is, most of the time, the guys that women are fighting over, kitty Popeyes, like Dulas. Not even worth it. It's just sad. It's just... sad. By the end of the segment, Team Mosha Distraction Girls are laughing hee ha ha on the couch because, yes, we made the segment. We gave South Africa entertainment at Dulas's expense. High five. And then we cut to Dulas and Mashozi together on the couch. Distressed, bitch. Distressed. Upset. Even Dulas looked like he wanted to cry. Both of them touched on their studios. There we go. It's Tembu. Happily ever after. Guys, if you made it to the end of this review, well done. And thank you for watching until the end. That was the segment for these two people, or this Dulas segment. I've got 2 more to go, and then I'm done with this show, which is very sad because I really used to enjoy watching Mnakwethu Happily Ever After. You know, when it wasn't about producers in the mix jumping to make television at all costs, it was great. When it wasn't about these new release girls wanting to be famous and also just causing to cause, it was great. But now it's a dumpster fire. Jerry's, but just move it to Moja Love once. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back with another segment of the reunion and continue to spread love, not hate. Ciao.